You know, folks, the whole world is talking about Bitcoin. Want to know why? Maybe it's because Bitcoin rose in value over 150% last year, and this is just the beginning. Bitcoin is online investing that anyone can do. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org today. Take a master class. Download the Book of Bitcoin and take your investment portfolio to the next level. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org and discover all that a Bitcoin can do for you. That's bitcoinuniversity.org, bitcoinuniversity.org.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
From my friends.
77 WABC.
How is Andrew Cuomo going to control the far left progressives that control the city council if he couldn't even contain them and keep control of something that was really his own baby? That bail reform, he took ownership of that. So how is he going to work with and control the city council, crazy as they are, if he couldn't control the New York State legislature when it came to bail reform?
I think that's a very important question. And the answer is, who knows, because they're uncontrollable.
That's our good friend, Victims' Rights New York, Jennifer Harrison, with Hank Scheinkopf, her weekly podcast, Harrison Hits Back, which she does from the great state of Florida, is doing very, very well. We love Jen Harrison. I know Curtis does. She's part of that trio, her, Janice Dean, and Tracy Albino out on Long Island that don't make life easy for Andrew Cuomo. And who knows, maybe Curtis Sliwa will not make life easy if, in fact, it comes down to Sliwa versus Cuomo for mayor, although Eric Adams is looking to move his trial date so he can concentrate on running again, which I find hilarious. Curtis is the best. He's got his Rip and Read noon to 1 every weekday afternoon. He does very, very well overnight weekends and does a spectacular job sitting next to me. So you're looking to make life miserable for both Cuomo and Adams. So I know you listen to every second of the show. I had Brian Kilmeade on. I don't want you killing Brian because he's a good friend. But for some reason, and right off the top of our interview 30 minutes ago, I hammered him. For some reason, Kilmeade and others rush to the defense of Adams. They go, listen, at least he called out Biden. At least he went to Albany.
Brian, do us a solid. Stay in your own lane. You dabble in local policy. He dabbles, and he knows enough to have a good conversation. But he's repeating the talking points of Trumpers because Donald Trump is embracing Eric Adams. I told you first here on WABC, they talk every day. They're like yentas on the phone. And Eric Adams will soon be wearing a Make America Great hat again, a MAGA hat.
Come on.
And because you pointed it out, he needs Trump desperately, the pardon, the commutation, and maybe even to make the charges go away. He has his lips sealed on the tuchus of Donald Trump. Remember, he used to be a Republican. He supported Rudy Giuliani for mayor against David Dinkins, his hero, his mentor. This guy is a chameleon.
Oh, sure he is. And he may be a Republican again. He may, in fact, primary you. He may. And, this thing where he comes out and goes, hey, I want to work with Trump, sanctuary cities, I've gone to court.
Yeah.
One day he says, let me say this, I'm good with the immigrants coming to New York. So he hasn't learned his lesson. Today, he's yelling and screaming, no mass deportation. But 2 days ago, he's saying, I would work with Trump on the immigration problem.
Watch.
Which one is it?
Tom Homan will be sitting there in City Hall saying, we're the best of pals, right? Anything you say, Tom. Hey, say nice things to the president about me. I'll wear the MAGA hat. I'll do whatever you need. And by the way,
I got bad news for Eric Adams. Tom Homan will be on this show.
Good.
The new borders are in an hour. And I can guarantee you now, because I'm going to ask him, I can guarantee you now, before I even ask him, Tom Homan is no fan of Mayor Eric Adams.
Yeah, and rightfully so. This is a guy who welcomed in the illegal aliens, gave them everything free, told Abbott, the governor of Texas, you're a racist. Who is the biggest supporter of Abbott, governor of Texas? Donald Trump. So when you call Abbott a racist, you're calling Donald Trump a racist.
So it makes no sense. So you're right. Here he was, and he's still saying it. He's still saying, we want you. 5-star hotels, cash.
Kickbacks on the contracts. Remember, the kickbacks on the contracts, it never stopped. Now, Brian Kilmeade says, well, when he went up to Albany, as you pointed out, he really didn't know the system there. Didn't know the system. Brian Kilmeade, this is what he said between 2006 and 2013 when he was a state senator in Albany.
Show me the money. Show me the money. That's what it's all about.
So you see, he doesn't know that, Brian Kilmeade. I gotta become his consigliere when it comes to local politics to keep him out of harm's way.
He likes you, and he's endorsed you for mayor. He readily admits you'd be the best choice, but for some reason he has to defend Adams.
Hold on a second. I was watching the podcast, Suzanne Miller, the real estate gal, and he endorsed John Catsimatidis or Michael Bloomberg. We got to straighten him out. You can't endorse three different people, Brian Kilmeade.
Well, Catsimatidis pays him. So right off the bat, you got to understand that one. Not that he doesn't respect John. Of course he does. Bloomberg, I don't know where that comes from. Well, I mean, Bloomberg had a successful stint.
Yeah, but still. This is like, what am I, his gumada?
I guess. I don't know.
Hey, would you pin him that? Is Curtis your gumada?
I mean, I guess so. But on a much lighter note, Curtis.
Yes.
You heard earlier this morning, great job by Lou Rufino. Rich Eisen and a lot of folks around America today are celebrating Odd Couple Day. Right there, the very beginning of the opening theme from the song, they talk about November the 13th, and today happens to be November the 13th.
Ah, Mr. Rosenberg, you were absolutely correct. Born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Who am I talking about? Tony Randall, Felix Unger, the photographer. And I always thought this guy was gay. I mean,
so did I.
The prototypical gay guy, right?
Yeah, not even close.
Neat freak, the whole 9 yards.
Not even close.
Not only was he married to his high school sweetheart, but eventually when she passed away, they were together almost forever. At 75, he married a 25-year-old woman, Heather Harlan. Guess who married them? Rudy Giuliani. And they had two kids. The natural way. No IV.
The oldest people I know in Hollywood to have kids are him and Anthony Quinn. I think the former great Greek actor Anthony Quinn had a kid at like 80. But yeah, he was still having kids, Randall/Rosenberg, in his 70s.
Now, he was the one Jew there, and the other Jew was Jack Klugman, his real name, Oscar Madison, who when he went to college, his drama coach said, hey, let me tell you, you're not suited to be an actor. You're suited to be a truck driver. Yes, 12 Angry Men, the movie, The Twilight Zone, all those great episodes, and then The Odd Couple. So, you're going to go to your drama coach? Right? I mean, think about this. One of the greatest sit-down comedies of all time. Perfectly matched. And let me tell you something. When I think of him as Rosenberg, I think of you because... Look, you're Natalie attired. Tony Randall and Natalie attired, right?
Yes.
You're a neat freak.
Yes.
You're a neat freak. You shower like, 3-4 times a day?
Every time I go to the bathroom, I shower.
Right. With Danielle, without Danielle. I mean, you're constantly in the shower. So, by the way.
I was the only one who used that nasty shower that you used back in the old place at Madison Square Garden.
Exactly. You were in there all the time, pleasurizing yourself. Don't kid me. When a guy is always in the shower stall, you know he's pleasurizing himself.
Oh, God.
But now... this is going to be the litmus test for all talk show hosts.
Okay, here we go.
I'm telling you, talk radio is going to become boring now that Trump is president. Because it's always best when you have a heel, an adversary. Yeah. Biden, it sucks. Harris, Mayorkas, nonstop, 24/7. Now what are they going to say about all the appointees of Donald Trump? And maybe the most important position, he struck out swinging. He promotes the governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, the Barbie doll of all elected officials, right? Who, if you wanted to appoint her, remember you heard Trey Gowdy talking to Nora Ingram, Interior, that's where she was born and raised on a ranch. You put her in charge of the most important agency, and then when they're listing all the different responsibilities, right? There's the TSA, okay. There's Secret Service, which needs to be just completely reformed. There is Customs. There is Border Control. And the one thing they left out.
Coast Guard also, don't forget.
Right, Coast Guard. They left out ICE.
They did leave out ICE.
They didn't even talk about ICE. You're going to put this woman in charge of this agency with so many dimensions. And I claim this came about because of the Billy Martin in the life of President Donald Trump. His name, Corey Lewandowski. He comes, he goes. He comes, he goes.
He's still there, I think, Corey.
Well, special advisor during the campaign.
Yes.
But remember, they kicked him out twice.
Right.
The guy's libido is like a Kennedy. He's nonstop. He's out of control when it comes to that.
Well, to his credit, he actually was with, I think most people would agree, the two hottest Trump ladies the first time around, with both the lady you're about to mention, Kristi Noem, and Hope Hicks. Corey Lewandowski had them both.
Yep, and Kristi Noem was married. They were canoodling in hotel lobbies there. It's well known, swap and spit. But Corey Lewandowski is a lobbyist. Now, there are a lot of contracts in the Department of Homeland Services. A lot of contracts. Who do you think is going to have the inside track when all those contracts are given out? And I don't want to hear Elon Musk and Vivaswamy or whatever the hell his name are going to look at these contracts. Nobody's going to get in between Kristi Noem and her lobbyist friend, Corey Lewandowski. And you hear it first from Curtis. Now, let's do the litmus test. Greg Kelly, right? First, give me Kristi Noem when she shot her dog. Kristi Noem when she shot her dog.
When I got back into my truck, Cricket was sitting in the passenger seat, looking like she had just won the lottery. The picture of pure joy. I hated that dog.
And then she went out and shot.
I hated that dog. Shot it.
That's her own voice in her own autobiography. Shot the dog multiple times, went back to the pickup truck, reloaded an AK-47, came back and shot her again. Now,
and just so you know, before you get to the other folks, I remember when Michael Vick got arrested for the dog fighting. And Vic's excuse was, listen, where I grew up in that part of Florida, dog fighting was a daily thing. It was no big deal. According to Noem, when she shot the dog in South Dakota, that's what they do. That's part of their life. They shoot the dog.
Yeah, and you go back and you reload and you shoot it some more. Then, right after that, Greg Kelly, a real hero because he served in the United States Marine Corps air flight in the no-fly zone over Iraq. He knows the deal. This is what Greg Kelly said soon after.
Governor Noem, and she was on Hannity the other night, and she's trying to say this is a fake news plot. I don't think so, Kristi. I think you're a little bit nuts. I think you are just you're a real piece of work, and it all went to your head or whatever.
So now what's he going to say today? Yesterday I had to do an hour.
Let me ask you this, because Judge Janine Pirro on my show went nuts on her, too. Can it be, Curtis, can she be a bit nuts, like Greg Kelly just said? And, of course, he's right. But if she's a bit nuts, does that mean she can't be a good DHS secretary? Why can't she be both?
In charge of U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, ICE, FEMA, U.S. Secret Service, TSA. Are you out of your mind? You put him in Interior. Let me tell you, when Ronald Reagan was president, he appointed James Watt, who then said, God is going to return. I don't know if Mike Huckabee believes in this because he believes in rapture, the end of the world. And as an evangelical, he loves Jews, but at the end of the world, the Jews got to convert or that's it. They're dead. Off with their heads. But anyway, back to James Watt. He said, we must chop down every tree in our forests because that's the only way Christ will return. This guy was appointed by Ronald Reagan. And then he banned the Beach Boys from performing on the National Mall because he said that they promoted drug use, alcoholism, and they were the wrong element. And you know who he chose instead? Wayne Newton.
No.
Shane. Yes.
Wayne Newton's a mess.
But that's why you leave the Interior, the Secretary of Interior, the people like Kristi Noem. You don't put them in charge of Homeland Security. Now, if you're a purist, you call out the president. How many here at WABC will do that?
Call out President Trump?
Yeah. And say this was the worst possible choice.
Frank Morano, he would do it. Anthony Weiner, he would do it.
This is why talk radio is going to take a dive. This is why.
It's funny because I put up a picture yesterday of me and David Friedman. I'm very, very, very close with David Friedman. And
you're like Cain and Abel.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought he did a spectacular job.
Should have been the U.S. ambassador, but what you failed to factor in, Israel's economy is hurting. They need the evangelicals coming over. They will come over by the plane load knowing they're going to meet one of their own, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee.
That's a good argument, and a lot of folks have been saying that for the last 2 days, a non-Jew and an evangelical will help. But Friedman did nothing wrong. He should have been awarded the same. Anyway, so I put a picture up of Friedman, and I got a bunch of texts from serious, to your point, Trump loyalists. I'm not going to say who they are. And they said, Trump loves you. There's going to be something for you down the road here.
Here it goes.
Yeah. They're like, why don't you place your trust in Trump? So I took the picture down. It was up for like 6 hours. No, I caved.
So what you did?
I caved.
You chopped off your 3-piece set and stuffed it in your mouth.
100%.
You see?
I want a position.
You know how long you would last? One weekend as the press secretary, Scaramucci, that Schifosa, that Slachim,
God,
lasted 10 days. You would last 10 minutes. And it's not because Lou Ruffino's not there with the dump button, which he is, the old I'm a dump button for you. It's because you will say something that Trump will watch and say, that's it, off with his head. He's out of here. You're either loyal to Trump or you're an outliner. And now, everybody in talk radio, this is your litmus test, because I'm already listening to this love affair, and it's boring me. I'm listening to more of my electronic dance music. I'm listening to more of sports, because you know how to handle it when you got a heel like Biden and Harris and Mayorkas, evil, Satan, Lucifer. But now when you get a choice like Christine Noem, the Barbie doll, that makes no sense, you can't even criticize him because you're afraid. What will the Trumpers, what will Donald Trump think? Be a free agent. Be a man or a woman. I'm going to be listening to Greg Kelly today upon his return, 1 o'clock. What is he going to say? And Janine Pirro, you better not buck and fold and all of a sudden say, oh, Christine, no, I rethought my position. Give her a chance. Give her a chance. Are you crazy? It's Homeland Security that protects us from the terrorists who are going to try to destroy America and fulfill the fatwa of the Ayatollahs to kill Donald Trump and destroy the big Satan America, and along with it, the little Satan Israel. And you're hearing it from me, Curtis Sliwa, because I fear no man, no woman, and I tell you like it is.